go on this magical journey.
I hear it now.
Yeah, it's on the wrong scene. So this is just me proving how amazing Mariam is at this, and I am still learning. That's all.
I
You're doing
mean,
wonderful.
hey, you're producing, and that's an amazing thing. So, like, yeah.
All right,
Thank you.
theoretic.
Excellent, excellent. We can all start with some voguing. Hello, welcome. My name is Bizalda, your GM in this GM-less game of Game Roulette on Huetopia. We are going to be playing a wonderful game of For the Honor by, gosh, you'd think I would have this pulled up. Who is the wonderful author for this game? MX Quinn, thank you. Let me get some mood music so I can properly set the scene for the intro before we delve into these wonderful characters. For the Honor. Rathael is a land full of magical people, fantastical creatures, and mystical kingdoms. It is studded with ancient ruins left behind by a long-lost civilization. It has always been a peaceful realm. That was until 12 years ago when the Legion came down from the stars and began to colonize the planet. It's a little loud. Their expansion was swift and brutal. Caught on the back foot, the kingdoms of Rathael gathered all of their most powerful magic users, called pricepts, and forged the Rathelian resistance. Unified, they were successful in beating the Legion back to their stronghold. Sadly, their final assault ended in tragedy. The resistance shattered and the kingdoms turned to isolation. It has been 12 years, and a new generation of princeps is beginning to see the need for another resistance. The Legion has been attacking towns again. The kingdoms are sending out dance invitations, and the wilds have been getting stranger and stranger. You, the princeps and warriors of factions at odds, will fight, quarrel, and flirt to sway Rathael in your favor. So, with that being said, let's start with some introductions. Simon, let's start with you. Tell me about who you're playing. What is your faction, and how marvelous do you look?
Fantastic. I'm happy to do that. My name is Simon. You can find me on Twitter at Lucha Libris. And today I am playing a character named Resonance, aka Rez. He is a human of about average height, except that he looks sort of like a robot. He's in a mechanical Magitech bodysuit that looks like metal skin with a distinctive helmet with a visor, sort of like you imagine Zero from Borderlands. When he speaks, a green sine wave appears on the visor, showing the vibrations of his voice. And he wears a cool jacket. He is a ranger of the Resistance.
Ooh, a member of the Resistance. Do we have anybody else?
Do you want my, sorry, do you want my traits and abilities as well?
Yeah, why not?
Sure. My 3 traits are charming, generous, and thoughtful. My abilities are music, of course, and healing.
What is your interpretation of music gonna be? I'm dying to know.
So the thought I had is he is from the Resistance, had some kind of accident that reduced him to a living sound. And so his body no longer exists. He's just sound that's existing inside of this metal suit, sort of like the ghost guy in Hellboy. But his music powers come from the ability to pop out like modular speakers from inside that suit. And like he always has an aura of like synth music and pop music kind of coming around him, just like floating around. That's what he does.
Has Raz ever organized any dance parties?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Do we have anybody else from the Resistance?
I I am also from the Resistance, so I guess I'll go next. So my character is Rukmini. She is a precept from the Resistance. Her look is she has a set of overalls that swap between like a green and a purple. It's kind of a vinyl texture, so it depending on how the sun hits it. And she has a couple of like armor pieces. So she has like a pauldron on one shoulder and armor on her like left calf, and a little bit here and there that she's put together. She gets little scraps and just kind of adds it to her collection as her look. And then the entire overall has kind of a mehndi embroidered pattern on all the edges. And then her abilities are fashionable, scrappy, and cool-headed. And her two traits are techromancy and investigation. With techromancy, she takes appliances that have or tech that's dead or unusable, and then she uses magic to bring it back to life.
What does that look like for Rukmini?
I think she kind of she mostly is like a scavenger, so she comes around and like either goes to people's like homes and just sees what things that they've thrown out or are getting rid of, and then she brings it home almost in like a Frankenstein-esque lab, and then puts them together. And I think every once in a while she has her creations have some sort of like existential dread of like sentience as they come back to life.
Yes. That's really intense, and I'm kind of curious to see what the interaction between like Rez and Rukmini would be like as well, considering they're very alive but very mechanical. So I don't know if there's friction or friendliness there. Do we have anybody from the wilds? Yes, do tell, Russ.
So I'm Russ Wild. I will be playing Voltrix. Voltrix is part of the Wild faction, comes from a place known as the Tempest Isles. They are very stocky. They have this large blue mohawk that goes down their head. They have these bright yellow eyes. They wear this crop top with like swim shorts all the time. And they have a shoulder cape with their crop top that is made of white feathers. For their traits, they are very brash, creative, and oblivious. And their abilities are transformation and lightning.
What do you transform into?
Animals. So basically, the way that I picture Voltrix doing things is that they often transform into animals to try and get around places. But sometimes when they transform back, they might miss a piece. So like sometimes their arm is still a wing, and they just like forget, and then they like have to like remember to like turn it back from a wing. Or like sometimes they have like scales on their neck from being a fish a little bit ago. So it's very much like they know how to use their powers, but the transformation specifically can sometimes be a little wonky. The lightning is just lightning. Specifically, what I picture is a rhinoceros with lightning.
What?
That's like the one use of it that I really like, that I really picture in my head. I think that's like the like mastered form is rhinoceros.
Wonderful and unexpected. Well, if we only have one wild, I think that gives us 2 kingdoms. Is that correct? Yes. Do tell, my kingdom folk, where do you hail from?
Do you want me to start or
Yeah.
whichever? Okay. Hi, I'm Pam, everybody. You can find me on Twitter, the Dovetailer, and it is 9:30 in the morning for me here. So if I'm a bit like, it's not you, it's me. It's time zones. So I'm playing Gaius. He is from the kingdom of Skyfire, and what is interesting about this kingdom is they took the brunt of the Resistance fall. What makes them fascinating is they are half human, half dragon. So he will initially look mortal until you see a smattering of scales as well, and horns. That's the distinctive mark. And he wears gloves because his hands are actually claws. And he will come off very dour at times because I think his three traits that I listed are strict, steadfast, and focused. Skyfire has no real like flashy magic. It's mostly focused on them. So his abilities are sword fighting and investigation. You may have heard that he's very good with his blades. Even though he's not so good with people, he tries very, very hard. So pretty face, really not good at handling the attention that comes his way because of that. And he, yeah, Kingdom of Skyfire. You might notice the iridescence in his eyes, and he is also singularly motivated to figure out what's going on because his lover is the princept of the kingdom. So he needs to figure out which side would be good for the man that he cares about the most. So that's
So
Gaius.
Gaius is not a princeps himself?
No, he's not. He's a knight. Yeah.
Ooh. I love the drama already. What is the name of the princeps of your kingdom then?
I think the name would be Valerie.
Valerie. All right, perfect. Tell me, what other kingdom lies in these lands?
Well, it's the Kingdom Sweets. Hi, I'm Morgan. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Serena Bezos. I'm playing Sugarella, who is a princeps of the Sweets Kingdom. Basically, she is. Where are my notes? Hold on one second. Too many tabs. Her traits are enthusiastic, cultured, and empathetic. Her abilities are candy and stretching. We'll get to how all that happens in a bit. But she's a tall, thin gal with pink cotton candy hair that's pulled into two puffy buns, and his cotton candy blue eyes. Her smile is infectious, and she always carries sweets from home on her to cheer everyone up.
I really love her. Can you, oh gosh, I have so many questions, but I don't want to ask too many detailed ones. I guess, how does your stretching manifest then?
I mean, you just like taffy, you just gotta pull yourself sometimes and just go
What
with it.
happens if it doesn't come back? Like if you lose a piece?
Oh, it doesn't stretch off. It never stretches off.
Oh.
You just got the elasticity. It always comes back. It always snaps back.
Good.
Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting those vibes for sure. All right, well, that would leave me last. I also had very good notes. My name is B. Find me on Twitter. We'll do that first as B_Zelda. But this wonderful evening, I am going to be playing Zulava Zen, the captain of the Legion. Their pronouns are they, them. They're a little nervous. It comes across as perhaps stubborn and short-fused. Not tsundere at all. They want to give you cupcakes that they bake because that's one of their abilities, and they also have hair magic. It is in the form of snakes. They could really list every single one of the snakes' name to you if they ask. They all start with T. So there's Timmy, Tommy, Tonka, Traits, Typhoon, Tyson. There's a lot of snakes, but Captain Zen will absolutely answer any opportunity given. And their look, as I mentioned, like they've got these long braids, and it's just sleeping snakes. When the snakes wake up, it's often to help me bake. It's one of my best skills in the Legion. The Legion, like where I call home, we call it the heat. We've got that famous pun of if you can't handle the kitchen, get out of the heat. Everybody laughs. Everybody. They wear a captain's cloak, and kind of tucked into their waistband is the largest whisk you have ever seen, and they like to hold that up as a sign of their true power. And that would be everyone then. So, we've got our characters. Our safety, as a group, we've kind of all gone over our lines and veils. As with every game, the X card is always going to be in play. This is something you can symbol on screen through any visual means. You can type it out in the Zoom chat as well. It's one of those games where you don't predict anything, but the safer we are, the better. All right. Prelude. A surprising event, a mysterious person, and a valuable object. I gotta do a little bit of scrolling. So this is what's going to kind of lay the groundwork for the world that we live in. It's going to build up some of the conflicts and create bonds as well. If everybody could choose an option from the section, the prelude, and read it out loud, and then I need you to answer the question. And we as a group, we can offer you some suggestions as you're kind of telling the story. So let's start with the resistance.
Yeah, there's a couple of really good options here. And a nice thing that I like about the game is that it recommends, like, hey, if you want, you can have your characters be the people that are mentioned in these things or someone else's characters. I'm kind of interested in a recent, Legion forces have been seen advancing on a resistance village. There is still time to ready defenses. How prepared are the villagers?
Yeah, how prepared are your villagers for my resistance? And I'm definitely leading with my whisk in the air.
Absolutely. I think we're not at all prepared. Those villagers are like, maybe it's in the kingdom. Oh no, it's the resistance village, not a kingdom village. I think because the resistance is all like recovering and trying to get things together. I think they're making do with what they have, and so it's like a little agrarian community that is able to hold on. It's like relatively safe in like a little valley, so the position is good. But as soon as they're not easily found, but as soon as troops come in there, they're just going to get stomped on. They have very few weapons. They don't have very good fighters. It's like, we're here to make food and to provide services for people. We're not here to train up new recruits. And so I think that's something that the Resistance has sent either myself or Rukmini off to deal with. It's like, these people are gonna die without help.
And toss an idea in there.
Yeah.
That to like kind of add to the number of villagers, since there aren't so many that are fighting, Rukmini has like enchanted some of the appliances and things in the area, and they're these like shoddy sort of fighters, but they're mostly just like little like toasters and like little TVs and things that have just sort of just woken up. And she's like, all right, here's your sword and shield, go buddies. I believe in you.
It speaks to a level of preparedness, but really no. Okay, well, my other resistance then. Pick me a section or pick me a prompt and answer that question.
Okay. I think this one looks interesting. Somewhere deep in the tangled woods lies an ancient sword that holds the soul of a long-lost warrior. What legend have you heard about them?
So I think an intense one.
Yeah, so I think this is something where it's like a story that's been passed down. So Rukmini has just heard this over and over. And I think every once in a while she goes in the village or sends off one of her little creations to see if they can find something about it. But she heard, so the legend goes that there was a warrior, someone in the past that had this sword that could slay any villain, slay any foe that you had, and that anyone who had it would be imbued with that power if you could just find it. It had like a wisdom scrolled onto the sword, and people have been looking for it over time. Rukmini has like tried to see if she could find like, you know, maybe pieces of it or clues, and she hasn't really found anything, but over time she's like slowly pinpointed out like the area in the woods that seems the most likely source of this.
Can I throw in a suggestion, especially
Yeah.
since the sword fighter in the crew is
Yes, I will take any suggestions.
I think that Gaius would be highly interested in finding that blade. And curiously, I don't think it's for him. I think he wants to make sure nobody else gets it. It's more that because Skyfire respects power, but they know how dangerous it is. And they know that there are a lot of factions involved, so it's better if somebody reliable, him, make sure that nobody takes it. So he'd be looking for it, but I don't think he'd be aware that Rukmini is looking for it also. So that could be interesting.
Yeah, I think Rukmini also would be looking for it kind of naively. Like she's like, oh, if someone gets it, they must use it for something good, right? So she's so she's just like, I'll just find it for them, and then, you know, they'll do something good with it. So she has a complete opposite viewpoint in it. It's even possible that she'll tell him because she doesn't think of that option.
Okay, that works.
I love that. I guess, does this sword have a name at all? Or like, was it named after that long lost warrior? Just so we can identify it as further than the sword.
Ooh.
Sorry, my stick as a GM is I make my players name everything.
I'm like,
I like that technique. It's a good technique.
Names are always the hardest.
Well, who made the sword? Do we know?
Oh, where did it come from originally? I mean, what? We only possess so much information. Like, if it's something from the Resistance.
Because it could be like from someone that fell, that had it, and it's just been sitting there for that period of time.
Who was
Because it could be like from someone that
before the fall,
fell,
something
that had it, and
when
it's just
someone
been
from
sitting there
Skyfire
for
Kingdom.
that period of time.
Who was
Oh.
gotten
I
good
think it could be
sky names?
Yeah, it could be interesting if it was called the Sky, or maybe Heaven Blight.
Ooh, I'm a sucker for a nice edgy
That's good.
name like that.
I like that.
Heaven Light. Oof, speaks
This is my
volumes.
breakfast brain working. I'm finally getting the brain cells.
They're waking up.
They're waking up at last.
Okay. Well, that is for our Resistance. Legion would be next. That would be me. I'm a big fan of the Legion has come into possession of a powerful dark gemstone. What forbidden magics does it hold? And I'm thinking that kind of in line with some of the universes that we've created, I almost think it has the magic to create sugar out of nothing. Like whatever the bonds that sugar needs, like it's like this crystalline sugar forming magic, and whoever possesses it just has it's an unlimited power source. It's just very, very specific to one type. And it's magic because nothing should be created from nothing. It's an impossibility, but here in the Legion of the Heat, we're rather fond of impossibilities, especially if we can harness their power.
Or maybe there's a
Question.
hidden cost you don't know of yet.
Oh.
Oh no!
Oh, I wasn't going there. I was just thinking like it makes like rock crystal formations, like cave stalactites and stalagmites.
Like rock candy, but like cooler?
Yeah.
I think so.
And bigger, yeah.
Yes. That can be powerful in its own. Like, I think because of this gemstone, it'll be the rock candy gemstone. It's part of what we've recently been able to build up our Legion with. Maybe we've only come across it in like the past 3 months, but in the past 3 months, we have seen tremendous like infrastructure changes, and the heat is starting to be a little bit scarier. What do we have for the kingdoms?
Pam, you want me to go first? Okay. Let's see here. There's so many good options. Because I'm a sucker for fun times. A kingdom has sent word that there will be a grand ball and every princeps is expected to attend. What is the theme of the dance?
This is my favorite.
Because you're gonna have dances if you're at a princeps. You're gonna have a princeps ball.
I love the idea of guys showing up in their armor, like with like a carpet for their princept, because they can't technically attend, but they've got to show up for their princept. But sorry, what is the theme?
Oh, the theme? Oh gosh. I don't know why my brain went high school prom and did like underwater Paris in the springtime, but that's
okay.
Because that's all like how prom themes just go. But I'm gonna say it is more like starry night, constellations, galaxies, nebulas. Like it's a very spacey sort of theme. It's ethereal.
Okay. What is there like a dress code for this then?
I mean, other than wearing your best, as any princeps should, and their +1s, I think the colors are like purples and pinks and blues, with the hint of silver. So,
Interesting.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm just wondering if it's a very like limited kind of question. Like, we don't want to add too much to the theme, especially if this is going to be a party that we'll have to visit. This dance has not yet occurred. So tell me, other kingdom member, what prompt have you chosen?
Let's see. Well, you chose the really cool one, which is the dance. I was like, yes.
I'm sorry.
Thank God it's in here. So I'm like, yay. Let's see. We already have a settlement that is under attack. Yeah. So that's a thing. Okay. Okay, here we go. The magic wall that keeps the kingdom safe from siege has been sabotaged, leaving the kingdom defenseless. What is necessary to repair it?
Ooh.
So
Wow.
I think that we can add to the myth of the sword. It is a destroying sword, but in the hands of the right wielder, it can actually repair things by precisely spinning something out of nothing. So records have shown that it might only be something on the level of Heaven Blight to repair that wall. Now, Skyfire is still ambivalent on whether they want to help that kingdom, because that kingdom I don't know which kingdom this is yet, so I'm open to suggestions, but I have a feeling that that was one of the kingdoms that really screwed them over. It was probably a terrible accident during the resistance, but of course, this focused swordsman who is deathly loyal to his princeps is like, is this going to be a problem? Maybe somebody else can fix it. I'm sure somebody else can fix it. Looks at the record and sees that it's Heaven Blight. I'm sure somebody else can fix it. I'll go deal with something else. So it's likely that there's a complex history, but that kingdom does need help.
Side suggestion. The rock candy gemstone could also possibly fix it, creating
Yes.
something from nothing.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But without knowing the cost of the rock candy gemstone.
Yes. Tough stuff. So you have a sword, you have a missing ancient sword where you're like, IDK. And you also have a mysterious device that could have a massive price. Who knows?
You know where it is, but
All right, that's wonderful. That leads us to... Okay, so the way this game kind of works is I don't necessarily have to go down consecutively to each prompt. If I read out to you...
Real quick, does the Wilds get a question too?
Aw, yes you do.
okay.
It was just on
Um,
my other page.
So the one that I like is an ancient shipwreck deep in the wilds has begun to whisper again. What is it saying?
Ooh.
And so based on what I've seen so far and what I've heard so far, I think that it's underwater. in the center of the Tempest Isles. The way that I picture the Tempest Isles is that in the center of them, it's like a collection of islands. In the very center, there is a storm that is just constantly there. And your lovely friend Voltrix went investigating the waters and found this ancient shipwreck and may have bumped into something or accidentally activated something, and now it is playing a song that they don't quite understand.
Does the song have lyrics?
Oh.
It does have lyrics.
Beat you to it.
I was going to actually ask what emotion was behind the song.
The lyrics, they're not nonsense, but they just don't make sense for anything that Voltrix would know of near the Isles. They reference like a tower, they reference like a bunch of different places, and something about a hero that they just don't understand. The emotion is almost like a longing sadness. Not like a joyful triumph, but like a mother almost keening over like the loss of someone and like the story. Mind you, it's partially muffled because of the water, but that's like the sound, the emotion. And it's very confusing to Voltrix, because Voltrix doesn't really get this kind of stuff.
That's really intense. I love that. My goodness. Okay. I'm wondering, have you ever told anybody about this shipwreck?
I've probably like mentioned it in passing to travelers and stuff, and that's probably spread further than I realized. But I don't think that Voltrix has really sought out the other kingdoms very actively. The Wilds are sort of on the outside of the war, because they're just so, like, there's so many things happening in the area that the Legion isn't interested, and the kingdoms are having a hard time convincing them. Because it's just like the Wilds are just so over the top that, especially because of 12 years ago, the Wilds were kind of burned by both sides. So it's kind of them having to figure out, are these people just using me, or are they actually interested in me?
Oh, that's so sad. All right. Now that will lead us into... I don't think there's a table of contents, unfortunately. And is there a table of contents that we can see for the prompts?
It's on page 4 of the PDF.
Aha.
Or the PDF.
It says a list of games.
There we go. So we have Crossing Paths, a time past, a reunion, a new context. Venture forth, a journey together, a challenge faced, a truth uncovered. Mincing words, a tense argument, a tender confession, a duel of wits. Taking the dance floor, that's a must. A warm embrace, a moment in concert, a rhythm of steps. Hand to heart. I feel like all of this is really built in a nice kind of arc way, so we might follow through it. If we see fit to skip any, we definitely will due to the time constraints. But let us start then with Crossing Paths. This is going to be a quick scene where two folks are meeting each other for the first time in a long time. So who do we think has not seen each other in a while? How, my resistance folk, have the two of you been in contact?
I feel like we know each other, or at least know of each other. I think there's definitely room to say that like Rez hasn't seen Rukmini in a while after like having this thing happen to him. I think it would be interesting to see us and one of the like kingdoms members, maybe, that we had a connection to some of them, and so now like we're going to you for help because now we're ready to start getting the band back together because Captain Zen is coming and things are happening. We need to rally troops, but maybe we're like traveling to them or have met them on the road, something like that.
So which one of my kingdom folk are going to meet the envoy of the resistance? I mean, you can absolutely be together. This can be a gathering of pricepts. Although Gaius, you're kind of like me in the sense that we're not pricepts. I'm a captain, you're a knight. So our inclusions are a little different. Like, what is your role in this, do you think?
I think it might be interesting if you are trying to meet the princept of my kingdom, and I'm basically the one in your way. Because I have a feeling, if this is okay with everyone, I think that the reason why his princept is taking a step back is because this princept is rather older than the rest, likely involved with the original resistance, took a terrible blow, and maybe somebody that a lot of people are hoping to get something out of because he has the wisdom, he has the strategies, he's got the tactics behind it. But he is also a very tired person who should probably take more naps and tend to the fact that he is pretty much disabled now because of what happened. So maybe the resistance is trying to meet Valerie, and Gaius is the one who's like, what do you want?
Yeah, I like that.
Are you sure about this? Right. So I think that might work if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I believe this is between two people, so Gaius and one of us. I'm fine with tapping out on this one if you want to go in, Rukmini.
I mean, this is absolutely something where the two of you, like, I can see us role playing with three because you're each on two different sides. If you want to break it already. So ultimately,
it's fine with me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with three. Yeah.
Rukmini as well.
Yeah, I'm good with either way.
Okay. Cool. So where are you all meeting then?
I think at the hall of Valerie.
Yeah. Probably. I will raise. I think that you guys got a great reception from the kingdom. They were like, "Oh, yay, resistance, wonderful!" Like shifty eyes. We're just gonna, just wait a second. We're gonna call somebody. It was more like that. Then you were expecting, I suppose, that Valerie would come out, and then instead you get this one marching out from the back, eyeing you guys carefully, not really suspiciously, more of just okay, I think I've heard of you, but not really. So he'd be standing, at least for the scene, he'd be standing quiet, waiting for one of you to explain.
Yeah. When did we last see each other?
I think I have not met either of you, or if ever I've seen or heard tales of the both of you. So that's for me anyway.
I have an idea for Rez and Gaius, which is like, I think in my mind, Rez used to be a combat medic for the resistance before the accident. And I feel like Rez probably saw Gaius in his duties as a knight somewhere, like maybe they weren't in the same battle but adjacent, and like, whoa, maybe even patched him up.
Yeah, I'd be good with.
And so the reason is like that you don't recognize him is like, oh, I'm in a robot body now. I'm a talking sine wave in a robot body, and like, oh, it's so cool to see Gaius, this person that like I kind of had this nice conversation with one time and haven't seen in years. You don't know who I am. You have no reason to know who I am.
Okay, cool. So I guess with the questions, I guess the best question here would actually be, we were so close that I'm happy and eager to see you. Do you share my excitement? That one seems to fit. What do you think?
Yeah, that's the question that I think I would give to you. Is like, I think as the meeting is happening, Rez like grabs Rukmini by the shoulders, like, hey, do you know who that is? Do you know they sent us? It's Gaius. Do you remember Gaius? Gaius with those claws, so big and strong. Oh my God, the way that the muscles just rippled on the field, and then we had and runs up excitedly to guys like, guys, it's. Do you remember I healed your wounds. You had this horrible burn scars, and we had this wonderful discussion about life and honor. It really meant something to me.
Okay. I think how he'd react to that is at first his face was like, what is going on? And then that'll fade into a, oh, Rez, I didn't recognize you. And it's clear that he wants to ask more questions, but it's that awkward moment of like, this is a very big change. Is it appropriate to talk about this? It's that look on his face like, I
Right.
don't want to insult you. Suddenly a friend, but you're different now. So, but he's trying his best. Like it's been a really long time. And then he'll turn to Rukmini kind of like, now no longer suspicious. Like the trust has been formed. So it's more, hi, Gaius, nice to meet you.
Yeah. I was trying to think of what our connection would be. So I think it's been so long that I'm sure you'll hardly recognize me. I think Rukmini is pretty young. So I think the last time you might have seen her is when she was a child, like a very small child, which is why she would seem unrecognizable and that you would think that you're meeting her for the first time because she was just a kid. And then what about me hasn't changed?
Oh, interesting. Okay. Can you give me a clue on something that you might be wearing or something or some sort of
Yeah.
feature that he'd catch on to?
I actually think it might be something that she has with her. I like the idea that she has like one little like mechanical bot that she's always had. That was her first creation, and she's had it since she was a child. So it's not necessarily anything on her except that she always has like little mechanical bits, and that might ring a bell too. That there's only one person in there that has like mechanical bits all over them all the time. But yeah, I think the little bot is the thing that really registers that like I've only seen that once before.
Okay, so I guess what's gonna happen is after saying nice to meet you, it's nice to meet you, staring at me. Guys is having a very strange day. Staring at the bot. Okay, now I remember you. You've grown. Of course people grow. Anyway, it's nice to meet you again, both, I suppose.
Rukmini is just like, you've also grown. Everyone's grown. She's just like trying to mirror what everyone says. She's like, this must be the way we greet here, is to just talk about how we've all grown.
Please don't use him as an example. He's a terrible social person. I can't wait for Sugarella. She's gonna be the normal one. He's just gonna be like, what's happening?
Rukmini's just like trying to add like yes and what you're doing. So she's like, your hair, it's different now. It was great before, and I also love this.
Oh my gosh.
And then just hoping that it makes you happy.
He'll ease up a little, but I think he'll carefully reiterate after making sure that the two of you are more comfortable in the hall, because I mean he was ready to toss you guys out, but now apparently there is a connection. So he'll sit down and I think he will ask you both, so what do you need and why are you here exactly?
I'm sure you've heard that the Legion is pushing back again. I know things went badly for everyone the last time the Resistance tried to make a stand, but I want you to know people have learned. The leaders of the Resistance are not the same anymore. We're trying not to repeat the mistakes that were made before. I know how much your people suffered. We don't want that again. We're asking humbly for your help to help us stand against, to defend a place where people can't pick up arms themselves. who better to do that than by one of the greatest warriors I've known? We need to get other strong people to help us with this, or we'll just crumble and the Legion will take this place.
And then Rukmini adds in, we believe that we have the foundation to stop the Legion, but we just need just a little more support, and we feel that we can stop it from reaching anywhere else to all the rest of the kingdoms. We can stop it where it's at right now, but if we don't get the support, will crumble, and then it will reach the rest of the kingdoms, and they will crumble too, and we won't be able to help. Now is the time.
I think he will, again, go pretty quiet, assessing, and then he will say very plainly, the only help I can offer you both for now is myself. I refuse to put my princeps in further danger. He has already suffered enough. And if by my assessment, the resistance truly is worthy, once more, and this is not a slight upon the both of you, this is a slight upon the other people who have caused this, and he gestures to the fact that the castle is a little worn down, that there are some repairs that have never been made, that he himself looks a lot more tired than the last time you saw him when he was out there kicking butt, and that there are a lot less dragons around the Skyfire. They used to be everywhere. Now they're in hiding, or they're injured or sick, or they haven't quite replenished their numbers yet. So he, after gesturing, he will say, if you are willing to have me assist on the pretense that I may withdraw at any moment that I consider fit, fine. And know, though, that other people will have to work to find my trust. At the moment, I only trust the both of you. Is that suitable?
We'll do our best to earn it. And unless Rukmini wants to say anything else, I think we can make a closing offer, which I think I would like to propose that we talk comfortably for hours. Now that we've established that, and then we can pass the spotlight to our other two characters. Is like, okay, well, I think we have something like along the lines of like, okay, well, if you're on board, let's just catch up for a little bit, and in the morning we can depart to find the next of our other companions that we're planning to meet.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Good to me.
Nice.
Excellent. All right. Episode 2. Venture forth. You and your chosen partners play. We are going to answer some questions. So tell me, why would Sugarella and Voltrix be traveling? Really intense music. I should calm that down.
It's an intense adventure that we're going through.
It better be.
So, I think.
I mean, I've got a hook if you don't have one, but I think you got one.
I think that Sugarella and Voltrix are going to try and steal the rock candy crystal.
Ah! Candy!
I mean, I just want it for the sugar. You need the defense, or someone needs the defense. So,
I don't think that Voltrix is here because they're like, yay kingdoms, yay resistance. I think they're just here because it's like, I was in the neighborhood and I was bored of flying and you had a cart, so I just kind of hopped on. And then you were like, hey, we're going to steal stuff from the Legion. And I was like, cool, sounds like fun. Either you get it and people get beat up, or you don't get it and people still get beat up. Either way, I can fly away, and I'm fine with that.
Yes. In. Done. Good.
So that answers where you are going, but where are you two currently?
I think we're on the way. I think we left my kingdom, and then I guess I met Voltrix in the wilds going towards it, so maybe we're still in the wilds.
So the Isles are all oceans, but like if if you have a ship or something, I might have actually just stopped to look at your ship and be like, why are you traveling through my waters?
You know what?
Don't
It is a
stay
ship,
here.
but it's like a sugar glass stained ship.
I love that. So
It's
yes, I think I would have actually come there not because I was bored, but because I was like, why is your ship in my waters? Please remove it from the situation.
It's very colorful.
And then you were like, here, have a bite of the ship. And I had a bite of the ship, and I was like, okay, fine. I'll travel with you for now, I guess. You have a tasty ship. So we're heading towards wherever the Legion is keeping this rock candy crystal. Gemstone, sorry.
Or we
So
think
I
it is.
think
Who
this is
knows?
gonna probably be a scene between the two of you. So what do you each notice about each other? In your arriving on the boat as you take a bite, like what is most noticeable about Voltrix, Sugarella?
I think them just able to transform is fascinating. And them getting stuck in these hybrid human animal spots. It's peculiar, but it's intriguing.
It's never like horrifying. It's always just like,
No,
come on, like
It's-
you
it's
you
like,
missed
oh,
the tail.
you're like, oh, I don't know if you know this, but you still got a wing. Oh, you still got a beak.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. So
With Sugarella, I think the first thing that Voltrix notices is just the amount of like pink, just like on the ship, on Sugarella. Like there's just so much pink, and yeah, there's pink on the islands and like with nature and stuff, but it's never like this. This is like an almost. It's not like a natural pink, quote unquote, because it's like a sugary kind of like factured pink, and that's strange to Voltrix. Voltrix is very confused by that.
So out of the two of you, who do you think is the least familiar with the area?
That's gonna be Sugarella,
I
because
I
we're
don't
on a
know
boat.
where I'm going. Well, I know where I'm going, but like how I get there, you know.
Well, that means you get to ask the first question upon your wonderful boat.
Oh, I do. Okay. Oh yeah, I do. Okay. Let me just read real
What do we
quick.
think the tone of this is going to be? I've got something really intense playing, but I think maybe less so.
I think for the end it's gonna be intense. I think for the actual boat part it won't be that intense.
All right, let's put on something a little bit happier then.
I mean, there's a lot of intense stuff in here
Mhm.
for the venturing that I'm reading. I'm just gonna start with the first one, just because it's a good mood setter. I spy something, and my curiosity overpowers me. I rush to it. When you catch up, what do you find me marveling over?
You are looking over the edge of the boat as it travels through the waters, because you have found a creature that is quite common to our area of the Tempest Isles. You have now seen a lightning narwhal in the waters, swimming with their horn crackling with lightning as they hunt. Basically, what they do is they swim through the water and then discharge their horn, shocking most of the fish, causing them to float to the surface, and then they all just go and start eating. And you've kind of started to see a family of narwhals, 2 older narwhals and 1 baby one, who's still figuring out how to use their horn. And it's kind of just like flash, 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 flash. And they can't really control it yet. And Voltrix comes over and says, "Those are lightning narwhals. Those are some of the creatures native to the wilds, or at least to the Tempest Isles."
I want to touch one. And you see her arm starting to. And this boat's pretty tall. It's probably like 5 feet from the water itself. And you see her just like reach over her arm, and her arm starts just to stretch a bit as it's like reaching down and just trying to poke. Like,
Voltrix like puts a hand on your arm and says, "If you're gonna touch them, you have to time it properly.
oh,
Otherwise, you're gonna get shocked."
oh my gosh, you're so right. Okay, What do you suggest for timing then?
Voltrix
Is there like a tell or something?
Voltrix is just holding a hand up and like not responding at all, and then goes, "Now!"
And the arm just shoots down, just extends past normal range of like any other humanoid, and quickly just like runs over one of the narwhals, and then quickly just shoots back up.
And then the moment it shoots back up is when the horn goes off.
I touched it.
Yeah, they're lovely creatures. Some of the least dangerous ones we have in the area. There's a lot of creatures like this.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited! I've never been to this side of the world before, and I would love to see more.
I mean, you're from what, the kingdoms? Stuck
Mhm.
in your little palace and everything.
Yep. Well, it's not really little, but it's a fixated place.
Voltrix kind of walks away and like sits on a barrel, just like with one leg on top.
It's
of
a
the
root beer barrel.
Yes, fantastic. They sit on top of the barrel, just like looking at you, just like as you're talking about how like big the palace is and everything. Like, oh, a big palace. So you must be quite rich then.
I mean, like, I don't know monetary values, but I'm a princess. If that, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that conversation, but yeah, my family is influential. I don't know. I'm not part of the politics. I'm here for the adventure. And you see her doing the Titanic open arms thing at the beginning, at the bow of the boat.
And I think that Voltrix kind of just like rolls their eyes and just like turns around and walks away. Because like while it was a cute moment, they're also just like, ah yes, you have money and power and you live in a cushy palace and
Oh,
out here we fight for our lives. Cool.
oh,
Fun.
oh, jeez.
What's your next question then, Voltrix?
Okay.
There's a really good one that I'll read the last bit to you if you want to read it. Where like, what is it? What does it look like for the formidable?
Sorry, wait. Where are we?
No worries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down.
Ah, okay.
If you want, just kind of based on what you were saying, I thought that would be a really good one.
I think that is a good one. We encounter a formidable threat that moves to block our path. What is it, and what does it want?
Oh, okay. So I think, are there in the wilds here? Are there really pirates?
Oh, definitely.
I think we may run into like maybe a boat of pirates. My boat kind of just stands out a little bit against the water, just a little bit against the water. And so,
Question.
answer.
Is it a boat of pirates, or is it Captain Zen?
You think it's pirates, but it's really
Standing with like my foot on the prow, one arm in the air with my whisk. Arr! I like that. What do I want then? I want to bring you down for possibly invading my lands.
I'm not even there yet.
It's called preemptive action.
But also, that's 2 pricepts you can take down for the Legion.
2 for the price of 1. My boss is gonna be so proud. I think. Definitely. Yeah. They're always proud of me. Most of the time. Gosh.
So then I think that actually transitions nicely into we are set upon by ambushers,
Oh yeah.
yep, absolutely.
it is the Legion and they want to capture us.
Heck yes. Where is that?
It's the ending.
Yeah, that's the ending of it. I know there's a
Oh my gosh, who are they and what do they want? That's
Yeah.
great.
and then I believe there's a combat-based one, or we could do give chase.
Yeah, there's a couple ways that you could play out how that follows up.
So real quick, Captain Zen. As our boats start getting closer, is it just you? Do you have some lackeys with you? I'm gonna say there's others with that laugh.
There are. Oh gosh. So your kingdom is like, is it like Adventure Time, like Candy Kingdom?
Think of Candyland, the board game.
Played the game.
It's just like Lollipop Forest and like Gumdrop Mountains and like.
Okay.
I never seen that episode of Adventure Time, so I don't know.
That's okay. So okay, I think I'm more of a pastry baker then.
Okay.
So the folks with me are like, there's a blueberry pie. There is some baklava with legs.
These are straight up just pastry humanoid.
Pastry people.
Pastry people. I love it.
Yeah, definitely just the pastry people. They're the disposable folks of the heat in the Legion.
Did you make them?
Fodder. Perhaps.
Okay.
Giving sentient life to all your baked goods. Is that the power that your whisk has?
Oh, perhaps.
Rukmini brings appliances to life. You bring baked
Oh my
goods
gosh.
to life and humanoid sized.
I mean, they're like at 4
That's
foot
synergy.
max. But
I know, we
Marion
should
says
be working
Pillsbury
together.
Doughboy.
oh goodness. So like it's like a rowboat too, and you see like the rows of pastries. Like, I don't even know what their pastry chant would be. Like, whisk.
Roll your dough gently down the dough. I ran out of words.
It's need, because you need the dough.
Knead your dough gently down the board. I don't know.
I think they can
Really
just
good,
shout
really.
need and just row on that. It's a similar movement, you know. Just like pushing it down and forward.
I think that's excellent then. You like the scene of Captain Zen is them shouting "need" while waving their whisk, and their boat starts to intercept with yours.
Do you have a flag to show that you're Legion?
What would our flag be?
Oh,
I think it's just an oven.
it's an oven.
It's just an oven.
It's an oven that says heat on it and like fire.
Is it oven with fire
A
just shooting out of
flame
it?
on the top of the stove, right?
Oh my god! So
Instead of a skull and crossbones, it's an
I'm thinking
oven
of
with
medieval
crossed frying
dragons.
pans.
Oh my god.
Medieval dragons with their mouths open and those like archaic fires coming out, but it's just an oven on like profile view and like just fires coming out of it.
I
Legit,
dig
though,
all of it.
that is so scary. Like we're
Yeah.
painting it this way, but like that is frightening. I love it.
An oven
See me
rampant
on the or on the water.
Guy
Better
Fieri
run.
colors.
is the heraldry.
Guy Fieri colors.
That's the motif. Mm-hmm.
Is it Guy Fieri? Is that the leader of the Legion?
That's my boss, but shh.
It's not the Legion, it's
No.
Flavor
We're
Town.
That's the town over.
I thought that was the village we had to save.
Oh my god.
We were trying to take over Flavor Town. Oh goodness. All right.
So
what
we have
is-
to figure out how we're resolving this. Are we doing a fight or are we running away?
I think when Sugarella sees all of this coming at us, I think she freezes for a second because she's not exactly sure because this is her first time ever being like in combat.
Mhm.
And she's like, oh, it's the Legion, it's the heat. Oh no, they found out. I don't know. Like, oh gosh, do I have? Oh, we need to go. And I think her idea is fleeing.
Okay. Voltrix isn't happy, but this is your ship, so they can't really stop you, unfortunately. So then I think that means we go to giving chase.
Giving chase.
Gotta find it all the thing.
You and your
Okay.
chosen partners play. You need coins and tokens for this game. First, choose which of you is the hunter and which is the quarry. I think I am the hunter. Y'all
Sure
are my
seems like it.
quarry. So we must answer some questions together. How did the chase start? Well, I woke up this morning and I had some Pop-Tarts for breakfast. I didn't make them. They weren't sentient by any means, don't worry. And then my boss, told me about some potential interlopers, and all of our jobs about preventative measures. So I went on the boat for a while. We spent some time baking. The heat works great. The sun, hella hot in my areas. So I made some boat folk, and my pastry party were ready to go. Oh, and then the chase started because I found them.
Yes.
That's an important detail. Zulava Zen's definitely monologuing. Where is this chase taking place?
Ocean.
What do I notice about you?
I think this works for all of us. So it would be
Yes,
what
we
you notice about the
notice
two
about-
of us and what the two of us notice about you.
I think something that would stand out to me is absolutely the infrastructure or the quality of this a boat. It's probably more of like a cruise ship style, in the sense that like you're great to hang out, snack a little bit, but it's combat speed readiness are not quite there. So part of Captain Zen's assessment, kind of they look over that lovely looking, if bright and a little harmful to the eyes, but it's just not gonna stand up to the superior barge that me and my pastry party have made. And they look a little scared. They have their backs to me. Voltrix, are you in any particular form, or like what was the residue of your last change?
Residue of the last form would have been probably an albatross or something. So there's probably like a wing left that's way too large.
Okay.
Just like a really long wing, and the rest of the body's completely normal.
Okay, so there's definitely that stands out, and like Zen does that really convincing chin stroke of and then just like Sugarella's giant cotton candy hair poofs that are blowing in the wind at their mediocre speed that their boat is moving, of course.
It's like, let's go.
What do you notice about Captain Zen?
Voltrix notices their outfit first. They appreciate the outfit. Having a good outfit is always important. Voltrix keeps their outfit because they go swimming a lot, and it just works for them. Also, crop tops are hot, so there's that. So they appreciate the outfit. They're like, looking good.
It's a good cut, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's your authority with the whisk, because us sugar connoisseurs, we know when we find two people who are alike. But
It's a quality whisk.
It's a good quality
It's
whisk.
got a lot of
roundage, spatial.
Spiralage.
The spacing is so intentional. It's, you know, it really creates good
That
air
steel,
bubbles.
that is a good quality steel.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Well, that leads the quarry. You lead me through a series of 4 challenges and hesitations. To begin, we are going to choose an option from either list. You must choose at least one hesitation. Don't forget to use your abilities during the chase. During this chase, you and myself will gain tokens. These represent the distance you're able to gain on each other. After a total of 4 challenges and admissions, compare tokens. If you have more tokens than myself, you escape. If I have an equal or greater number of tokens than you, I get to choose something in this list.
No, the quarry chooses something from that list
Okay.
about how they've messed up.
Oh, that's what makes sense. Okay.
Okay.
So I believe, yeah, my quarry.
So we throw challenges and hesitations at her, and she gets to. We flip coins and determine who wins. We have to do at least one hesitation, and we get to use our abilities and things to help out.
How do we do the heads tail situation?
Doesn't detail it, but hold on.
Do we just flip a coin?
Yeah, it says you throw heads, tell me how you manage to keep your balance, tails, tell me what makes you slow down. So just one person needs to flip it.
Yeah, I don't have a coin. I hope.
Hold on, I might have a coin. Oh,
I
you
got
got
a
one?
D20.
Yeah.
Russ has one.
Just call it evens and odds or something. I don't know.
Russ got a coin.
And we also have to keep tokens or like marks for ourselves to see how many we have.
I'll make a
So-
tally on my page.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
same.
So, Sugarella, as you were leading the ship, I expect you to throw the first challenge.
I will. I throw a trap or distraction behind me to slow you down. So what I do is, just because I am just a little frazzled because I'm being chased in my first ship and I don't know what's going on. I think I'm just going to go fizzle, fizzle, pop, pop, and I'm just going to throw these like sugary rock-looking things in the water by your boat. But as the water absorbs into them, they snap and crackle like pop rocks to hopefully like disturb the water and like maybe hit your boat to like be little bombs or something. I don't know.
I love it. It's like little sparks going off.
Mhm.
I mean, roll or flip that coin. Let's see how well it works.
Yeah. That is a tails. What does that mean?
Tails. I lost my spot.
I gotta highlight these.
I know.
Tails,
Uh,
tell me how you break free of it and I gain a token.
Oh
So,
no.
Corey's gain a token.
No, wait, hold on. I think the hunter gains a token. Wait, no. Tell me how you break free and I gain a token. They don't hold on, who's I and who's
Since the
You
Corey's throwing the challenges, it's about yourself.
Okay.
You would be the eye.
okay.
So we have one token.
Yeah.
But Captain Zen, you get to tell us how you break free of this first trap.
I think I throw croissant person into the water to absorb some of the sparks. It's not a great tactic, but it does work. And
You're
I'm
just
now
sacrificing
down the rower.
your bread people.
Yep.
This is
Not
the
a good
battle.
person.
This is the battle of the chefs, y'all. Food Wars, here we go.
Yes.
So I'm going to do a hesitation. I try to use my abilities to get away, but it takes longer than I expected. So what Voltrix does is Voltrix sees this going down and goes, okay, I wasn't really aligned with anyone anyway, and tries to turn into an albatross again, but already has one arm as an albatross. So that arm turns back to a human arm when the rest of them turn into an albatross, and it's just like trying to figure out the balance of it and trying to fix things.
It's like when you're trying to bold things in documents and like words already bolded, and so like when you go to unbold it and you're like, oh wait, no, it's already bolded.
It flips everything. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So we throw a coin. Heads, tell me how you manage to follow me and gain 2 tokens, or tails, tell me what path you take to keep up the chase.
Ooh.
That is heads, so you gain 2 tokens, and you have to tell us how you manage to follow us. Or at least follow me, since I'm flying away, or at least trying to.
I have a minion that is made out of a baguette. And I throw them like a spear. And they sprout bread wings midway through the air. And they are now on the way to, like, their goal. I've whispered but one task for this lovely crusty bread, and it's to take you down.
Mhm.
If they have to use every single crumb of their being, they will.
All right, Sugarella, it's your turn. We've already used one hesitation, so we don't have to do it again, but if you want to, that's cool.
Okay. I think I might do another challenge. Let's see here.
Also, Captain Zen, don't forget, you get 2 tokens now.
Yep.
I love how all of these are like all land-based ones. So
You can change it
Reword
up.
it.
I'm looking
Break
at
the
one to see
game.
where I can change it. Yeah. Oh, I got this. So I'm gonna go with the first challenge. It initially says I run along a very thin edge. You throw. Oh wait, hold on. But instead, I'm gonna say we find like a two rocky
canal?
outcropping.
Ooh.
And so I'm able to try to move my ship in between it, so I can try to throw you off the tail. So heads, you manage to keep with me within the hierarchy outcropping.
Okay.
And tails, tell me what makes you slow down, and I gain a token.
I can tell you how badly I manage on this outcropping. I mean, give me that flip and we'll see.
That is a heads. So you are still with us, and no one gains any tokens. So we have to try and gain a token right now. Actually, no, I don't think we can win now, because we only have one more left, and we can only ever gain one token.
There was a really intense moment, I think, when the two ships were they were very close to each other. Perhaps the water were kind of it was like whitewater rapids-esque because of all the outcroppings in the rocks. It creates this waterfall tumbling effect, and the two ships, they come close to each other. It's enough for Zulav, the Captain Zen, to wave their whisk menacingly, while the bread in the sky still continues to attract Voltrix. But Sugarella, with your skills and your level-headedness, you are able to navigate your ship out of that outcropping, but I am not far behind.
So do we do the fourth one? Because we actually can't win anymore.
I think just for story purposes,
Just
we
for story
should.
purposes? Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so the one that I think works the best is... Where is it? I try to lose you in a crowd, thicket, or maze, except instead of a crowd, thicket, or maze, I kind of call down to Sugarella to have the ship be steered in a certain direction, because we are going to the center of the Tempest Isles to try and lose you in the storm.
Yes. I mean, no.
So I will flip my coin. Oh my goodness, this coin does not like me. That's heads, so we don't even get a token to tie.
What is the consequence for this one?
The consequence is that we decide
you get lost.
one from this list.
Ah, okay.
So first off, for this one, tell us how you managed to stay on our tail, even in the storm. And then we both have to decide what happens to each of us.
Oh, it was simple to follow you. Sure, the bread got a little soggy, but it makes for a wonderful sentinel.
Okay. So then I think Voltrix and Sugarella, we have to figure out what happens to each of us, because I think we can have separate fates for this.
Yeah. I'm kind of feeling two right now, so what do you have for yours?
So
What are you
for
feeling?
me, since we, I think that the one that would work the best, since we're in the center of the storm, is I've come to a place I can hide temporarily.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Voltrix turns into a fish and drops into the water and swims to the ship that's down there.
I like that. Since you're hiding as a fish, and I'm alone in this sea, in this storm, away from everything, I think my ship has taken some crystally goopy hits, because water and sugar don't really mix that well.
Spoiler.
I'm sorry. I spoiled myself. I think you've chased me to a dead end and cornered me.
Do I get to resolve this, or will it lead into another scene?
I think it may just lead into another scene.
I don't know that it leads into another scene. I think that
Or that's just where it ends.
Yeah, I think that's where it ends, and what happens is that you capture Sugarella, and then there's a rescue scene that can possibly happen later.
I think the last, like, you in the background, like the last frame is just Voltrix turning into a fish with perhaps one albatross wing that still sticks out from where they should have a fin as they dive into the ocean. And my boat crashes into Sugarella's ship and it starts to sink. She scrabbles to the very top of it. And I offer her my whisk if she wishes to be saved.
And since my ship is sinking like a glass boat in the middle of the sea, she'll grab it and save herself.
You are now my prisoner. Welcome aboard to the pastry party.
And that's where he cut.
All right. Let us consider the next scene. Search and rescue?
What would the other players be doing at this point? Because the other three.
I'm wondering if there's a scene where we can bring everybody together.
Mm-hmm. So perhaps Voltrix feels a little guilty about abandoning Sugarella and goes to Rez, Gaius, and Rukmini to try and gather some help and maybe save Sugarella and like maybe apologize.
Yeah, I think it's sort of like a fortuitous thing. Like, we're on our way to go like somewhere and Voltrix stumbles onto us of like, oh my god, people that can help maybe.
Voltrix leaps out of the water as a dolphin and lands on your boat and just like flops on the boat until they turn back into a human and they just have a dolphin tail now.
Awesome.
I swear, like, sorry to be the party pooper, but steadfast, principled, focused. The moment that dolphin came in, you've probably got a sword pointing at you. He's interspersed himself between Rez and Rukmini, like, what are you?
Turns back into human, like on their back with the tail, and they just look up at you and go, nice sword.
My little bot also has a teeny tiny sword, and they're also but it's like really belated. It's like you've already turned back into a human and the threat is gone, and it's just like stay away from us.
Is it a sword or is it like a butter knife?
Yeah, it's like a teeny tiny, like it's like not even very sharp or anything.
Is it like a cocktail like sword, like or like cocktail dishes?
Yeah, I think the bot has like pilfered it from like Rukmini never gave him like a sword because that wasn't his purpose. But he just like when she dropped something at some point, he's like, yes, now a sword. I can do what I was born to do.
So Voltrix looks up and says, hi. So like you're the good guys, right?
Yeah, we're here to help.
Cool. I need some help. Well, not me. Somebody else needs help.
Rukmini, Gaius, someone needs help. We gotta do something about this.
So cute because Gaius is just gonna be like his mind, like I think of the camera would flash back to what he was saying. I only trust the two of you. I'm doing this for my princess. Who is this one?
The words went in one side of the helmet and out the other.
So he's just like storm cloud, waiting for Rukmini to respond.
Yeah, Rukmini's just like, yeah, when you first say you need help, she's just like, you're like a fleshy person. That's really not my department. She's just holding out like mechanical things and she's like, kind of sucks that you're stuck with this dolphin tail. She's like, I don't know, maybe I could come up with something to help you out, bud.
Oh, my tail. Okay.
Yeah, are you hurt?
Dolphin tail disappears.
Oh, that's just
like,
part
oh.
of you. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no,
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Anyways.
Didn't mean to offend.
You're like the good people who like fight The Legion. Right.
There's Legion around here?
Not here, but I know where they are. And guess what? They've captured a princept of a kingdom. The Sugar Kingdom. Candy Kingdom. I don't remember which one. She told
Candy
me.
Kingdom?
And
We were supposed to get reinforcements from there.
Well,
I love candy.
their big boat is now sleeping with another boat. Spaceship.
Oh, well,
that
good for them.
sings. Anyways, yeah. So Legion has a sugar candy princept. Wherever they have this rock candy gemstone, I would assume. The flag that the ship that attacked us had said heat. If that means anything to you, I don't know if it's a basketball team or what it is. But I believe we're looking for them.
Hey, can you show us where they went? Maybe we can try and track them down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wasn't really paying attention.
Do you remember where they last were? Where you saw them? Where the ships went to sleep?
Yes. I can take you to where the candy ship went to sleep and where the spaceship is. I don't know where the Legion ship was. I was kind of hiding as a fish albatross monstrosity, but that's neither here nor there. Yes. So I can take you there and we can try and figure out a way to them. If any of you know how to track, that'd be great.
And I have little buddies, and she just has like little things, and now she's like quickly trying to add some like buoys to them so they could be thrown into the water. So she's just like pulling them off of the ship. She's like, we don't need these on here. It's fine. I don't know whose ship we're on. I'm assuming it's probably not hers, but she's just like, I'll just
probably Skyfire. So Gaius is trying not to look horrified at you.
She just pats Gaius on the shoulder, like, thanks, bud.
I like that you have a boat, but your city's in the sky.
It's like an airship.
Oh, this is an airship, so I just
Sky.
jumped, like,
It's a
50
sky
feet in the
plane.
air as a
It's
dolphin.
a convertible.
Yeah, it's the Animal Crossing, right? It's an
the
airship
top
that can go
down.
into the ocean.
You jumped really high, Voltrix. Good
Yeah,
job.
I jumped like 500 feet in the air as a dolphin.
Because you're magical.
It's
The magic
amazing.
works.
No
I
wonder
actually just
you were
pulled away my wings as I landed on the boat.
I have a question for Sugarella, just for world building stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think what do you think the Kingdom of Sweets was doing 12 years ago? Like, how were they resistance wise?
I think Sugarella's moms were fighting in the resistance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they had like candy cane shields and like I don't know other things. Other candy specific things that I can't think of.
Okay, because I think my character pitch would be, I have a feeling that Gaius greatly admired Sugarella's mothers as fighters. So now, at least that's a bit personal, given that he'd be smart enough to piece together that the princeps might actually be their daughter, even though we've never really met. So now he's a little less like, this is a sidetrack, but it is no longer a sidetrack. We will do the honorable thing, is what he's thinking now. So, but he'd tell Rez and Rukmini about it, that this might be the daughter of two warriors I respect very much. So I will use my abilities to investigate, because we have some information. So maybe guys could take point at piecing together where to go. Does that sound good?
Yeah, we can really use that kind of expertise. Then we'll be really playing in harmony. I forgot to mention at the top of this that Rez has like a sick keytar that's always slung across his back, and that's part of what he uses to amplify his magic powers.
Oh my gosh.
Because he's not a mage. It's all tech. It's that
Yeah.
whatever that guy was in the new GI Joe that like had cool sound wave things, and the I don't remember. It was I saw it a couple times when I was a kid in the late '90s.
Oh, so like you know music?
Oh yeah, you want to jam?
No, I don't know how to play music, but there's this really weird song that you should probably listen to. How do you do with water? You look like you're mostly not water based.
No, but this thing's watertight. He like taps the suit.
Cool. How much pressure can it withstand?
Well, we can find out.
Okay, sounds like fun.
Like it like just smash cuts to like your weapon being like lowered and you're like, wait.
Because I think that Voltrix would quickly take Rez to the underwater area while Gaius and Rukmini are trying to investigate where the ship went with Sugarella.
The search and rescue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, I gotta find that again.
So we have search and rescue, and we have, I believe this might be another venture forward.
Venture forth. Yeah.
The two of us to try and get that song.
And we can speed run that too.
Yeah.
Do we think that should be done before the... Oh gosh. They have names. Before the chase?
You mean the search and rescue?
Thank you.
I mean, yeah, we can do that one quickly and try and get through
Yeah.
it really quick. Because we already know where we are, where we going. We just need to know what do I notice about you.
Ooh.
So, I think Voltrix with Rez notices... I think it's weird, because Rez is very tech heavy. And Voltrix doesn't really have a lot of experience with tech. So I think that they very much are intrigued by like your entire body being robotic, but also a little confused and worried about it. They also have lightning power, so they don't know what would happen if like if like the two of us interacted. So they're kind of concerned about that kind of stuff.
I think what Rez notices about Voltrix is how comfortable they are in their body. Like just changing from fish to bird to whatever is just like breathing. It's like, oh yeah, I'm this now. And that I think is really exciting to him as someone who's like, hey, I used to be this person. Now I'm in this body. I kind of like it. It's useful. I kind of wish I could be something else. But like the speed at which Voltrix just adapts to like, oh, this is who I am now, is like really, really beautiful to him. And so like he kind of just sees that, and I think that like helps center him a little bit, because I think he's like low key feeling just like very sad about who he was, and this is helping him like come to terms of like, oh, there's someone is out here who just like becomes whatever. I can be fine with who I am now. I am the least familiar with this area, so
Sorry, that was so soft, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, my heart.
Ooh. Just dropping my ooh-woos everywhere. I can't hold them all. Let's...
Ooh, vroom, vroom.
Excuse me. My window's open. We we find a safe clearing and stop to take a rest. What comforts do we share there? So we're like diving,
Mhm.
and
So
I
I
think we're swimming, and then whatever
Yeah. I think that
you say happens.
the first part of the dive is us just getting down to the ocean floor, and that's kind of where we take a moment to like in a clearing just kind of take a breath. And I think that what Voltrix does is they kind of electrify the water slightly. Not like a lot to cause any issues, but just enough to like cause electric fields in the water. And there's all this coral that starts to like light up and glow. And these fish all start to swim out and kind of just swirl around the two of us in this clearing. Because I think that with how electrified the area is, these animals all know that if there's a storm above and it's raining and it's thundering, they're safe. So the sort of natural response from this place is that when there's electricity, they're safe. And I think a lot of the fish are interested in you and they just kind of like swim up and float around you, like near your speakers and everything. And I think Voltrix kind of like giggles to themselves a little bit, just like.
Nice.
How would Rez react to all of that though? Like, is Rez just kind of like, whatever?
I think it's really cool. Like, I think Rez is really interested in how everyone does what they do, and like wants to see the world. I think is like so much of what Rez has been doing is like fighting and like helping people fight and get back on their feet, but hasn't like traveled the world and had a moment. I think he like stops and like really gets lost on just like, whoa. Like, this is the first time that he's had to be able to like really stop and take in things and like see the world through the perspective of someone who lives here. Like, this is your space. So he's just like in awe of like how Voltrix handles it.
So then my question to you is, I get a look in my eye that can only mean one thing. It's time for a race. Do you accept my challenge? And if so, what trouble have we run head first into?
I do accept it. I think we're like, yeah, let's push the limitations of this body. Let's see if like maybe I can beat you at your own game down here. Let's have some fun. I think we run into like a giant sea creature. And it's like maybe guarding the entrance to the song location, like where the music is. And so like we are swimming and like we kind of like jockey for position. And then there's like just a giant like fish that mixes like 3 different kinds of other fish.
And I think what ends up happening is that the ship is kind of on the edge of like a trench, and we barely get into the ship. But when we do, the ship is starting to get knocked off. So we race to grab the song, and we have to leave the ship behind. The ship falls into the deep, and that's all we get.
I love that.
Is just a snippet of the song, not the entire song, but like a portion of it.
What form was Voltrix? I just want like a good visual, and like, was there anything particular about Rez kind of in the water?
So Voltrix would have been in a very quick form. So probably an octopus of some sort, just like firing through, like swooping up, down with the movement of their tentacles, that kind of thing.
Was there anything unique to Rez for this particular adventure?
I think the keytar has been strapped across his back, but he's like swimming by like popping out some speakers out of his shoulders like jetpacks, and like there's just like little bubbles coming from them as the reverberations from the speakers are like propelling him forward. So he's like being moved by sound, and there's just like a low, like almost whale song like synth drone music that's kind of coming from him as he's swimming around, which probably attracted the attention of the sea creature in the first place, honestly. He's not very subtle.
It's your first time underwater, you know?
Yeah.
All right, that's wonderful. I'm thinking that this might be, like, can you describe to me the closing scene of this episode? And we're going to set up a bit of a cliffhanger for what our next episode / our next session will look like.
So I think for Voltrix, if it's okay with Rez,
Probably.
I think that this sort of experience underwater has been very relaxing, but also very eye-opening. So I think that as they get the song and as they kind of broach the surface, Voltrix is kind of blushing with Rez as they both get up top, if that's okay.
Yeah, I love it. I think like Rez notices it. It's like, oh, you're a little out of breath. You live
Yeah.
down there.
Switching forms kind of takes a little out of me sometimes.
Oh, it's really cool watching you do that. Maybe you could show me how it works sometime.
Their hand like squeezes a little too tight, and suddenly the water turns black as they ink the water.
I think the camera zooms in to the ink, and there is a to-be continued. But there is still a flash for what's to come. Gaius, Rukmini, what are you doing on your ship to prepare for the adventures to happen?
I think that at first Gaius is all ready to just like take charge. Okay, I'm gonna do this on my own. But then he notices that Rukmini's inventions are amazing, even though she is also kind of tearing up the ship. But that's okay. He can explain it to his princeps later. So at one point, after figuring out that he couldn't do several things, but maybe Rukmini was kind of like, "Oh, here you go," or like, "Oh, I fixed it." He was just like, all right, so this is how it's gonna work. You're gonna do all your amazing stuff, and I'm gonna back you up. How does that sound? Oh, you're muted.
Thank you. Rukmini is like in the middle of doing things, so she's just like, yeah, that sounds good. And it's like in the middle of like, I think she's just been like following you around, and so whenever you're like, oh, I wish I had a, and she just starts like building it, and then she's like this.
Yeah.
And she's got her little like pod watery buddies getting stuff.
Usually at one point, he's also going to just end up watching her and going, "You really grew up, huh?"
Rukmini like totally misses the like cute moment, and she's just like, yeah, you did too. She's like, we're doing this again.
Yes, socially awkward beings. No.
She's also, investigation is one of her abilities too, so she has like a page for Gaius that just is like really likes talking about growing up.
They're both taking notes on each other.
Just really, really bizarre notes.
We need help, guys, next time. Like, this is
Someone help us talk.
I think that scene ends with the awkward exchange. And just like the nervous eyes, like, do you comment on it? Do you not say anything? And then the scene shifts. And let me turn this up. Sugarella, you are behind bars made out of baguettes. There is a cot behind you made out of a Pop-Tart, and the lighting is gloomy. Outside of the cell, pacing back and forth, their well-shod shoes clicking on the ground as they tap their whisk to their chin. Captain Zen looks over at you menacingly. I don't know what we're gonna have to do with you, but it's not gonna be good. And the episode ends. Roll credits. Thank you, everybody, for attending this wonderful game of For the Honor. Due to time constraints because like we have to save Sugarella. We need a dance party. I don't know if there's gonna be a standoff. But there is a whole lot of heckin' stuff that still needs to be addressed. I mean, I need that dance party more than anything. I have a whole outfit prepared. So it's gotta happen. But until then, my name has been B Zelda. You can find me on Twitter as at B_Zelda. I am a member of the Broadswords, an all-woman non-binary D&D podcast that will eventually be shifting away from D&D, but for the time being, you can also find me as a GM with Magpie Games. I run a lot of Bluebeard's Bride games, so if you like spooky stuff, a little bit of body horror, a little bit of emotional horror, I think I'm your human. Morgan.
Hello, I'm Morgan. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Serena Bezos. I do a lot of actual play podcastings. I'm with Red Death, which was a D&D 5e 1890s Victorian era game. However, we are moving to a new design written by Kristen and Tim Devine. Basically, it's kind of like set at the North Sea epilogue sort of style. If y'all have ever played that before, they're the ones that designed that. So we're going with that game instead of D&D. Also, I run Power. I'm one of the co-hosts for Power by the Players. I run the short stories and the one-shots. We just finished our mini campaign of Mask, being released, I believe, on Tuesday. It's going to be the first part of our Bluebeard's Bride game that we're running, that I ran. So yeah, that's me. Find me, be my friend. I'll see y'all around.
I'm trying to remember everybody's human names. Simon.
Hello, my name is Simon. You can find me on Twitter at Lucha Libris. I am a game designer. You can buy some of my different games, including For One Night Only, which I'll be streaming on this channel at the end of the month. A send-up of Cats the Musical at colorspraygames.itch.io. I'm also a GM for the Magpie Games Curated Play program. So if you want to play a couple of different cool games like Cartel, Pasión de las Pasiones, or even starting in August, the Root RPG, go to magpiegames.com/curated-play. I stream on All Nerds Here, a new channel. On Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern, we play the Worldwide Wrestling role-playing game. So if you like wrestling and feelings, that's what we're about. On Wednesdays, we are also bringing over my Monster of the Week game on Unnatural Disasters, which Rue is a player in. That's 8 p.m. Eastern on All Nerds Here for Hellboy by way of XCOM monster hunting. Finally, I am a voice actor for the Penumbra Podcast, which is a queer science fiction and fantasy audio drama. If you want to see yourself represented in stories, that is the show for you. You can learn more about that on Twitter at the Penumbra Pod, thepenumbrapodcast.com.
Yes. Sorry, my mic is not.
Yes.
Pam.
Hi, I'm Pammu. I am known as the Dovetailer on Twitter. You can either buy my games on thedovetailer.itch.io or you can check out my Patreon. Please feed me. I am very hungry. I also do editing, consultation, some sensitivity work. I tend to bounce around between streams. I think this is the first team where I will be as consistent as time zones allow, but I promise you I'm okay with waking up early and staying up late. I did appear once at Asians Represent, and right now I'm on the admin team for the Discord server. I'm also the admin for Dream Seas, which is the RPGC facing space. I guess that pretty much sums it up. You can check my games out if you like them. I do have a Firebrands game called Tinoli Mitangere. It's very different from For the Honor. You all fight over chicken parts in the Philippine Revolution. So you're all social climbing or revolutionaries, or you just want to win the hand of a lovely lady, and you do it by trying to win the best chicken part in the tinola soup. So that's my Firebrands game. But otherwise, I welcome followers. Please check my games out, and please check out all these lovely people because I had so much fun.
Excellent. Russ.
Hi, I'm Russ. You can find me on Twitter at RussWildest, where I post a lot of different things, sometimes just ranting about different game systems and other things like that. You can also find me as the guide for Prison Pals, a all ages, all LGBTQ plus podcast. We are currently playing Quest, having switched over from D&D in about May-ish or so. We are on season 2. We have a season 1 recap that you can listen to, where me and the rest of the players each listened to 8 episodes, made PowerPoints, and presented them to each other. Which is a great way to recap an entire season. You can also, if you want to see me do other things besides TTRPG things, you can find me on the Prism Pals Twitch channel playing Cat Quest 2 with Mariam, who's one of our players. Mariam and I play Cat Quest 2, and it's really good. And we're playing on Saturday, I think at like 2 p.m., something like that. I have to remember which type. But besides that, you can find me on every other Friday. So next Friday, you can find me on Off the Tables channel playing Urban Shadows. Silverhoof Springs is what it's called. I play a non-binary wizard whose library assistant is his ex-demon boyfriend's shadow. So, yeah. Just great games. Oh, also, it's 2 p.m. July 11th.
I'm sorry.
For Cat Quest 2.
2 p.m. Excellent. Last but not least, we have Rue.
Hi everyone, I'm Rue. You can find me on the interwebs on Twitter at Cherry Drop, where mostly I am making up weird promos for my friends' games and Twitch channels. So see me trying to be a marketing person there. And then you can also find me playing Adia on Natural Disasters, also on All Nerds Here. I play a techie conspiracy theorist who's also socially awkward. I swear I don't have a brand. Yeah, that's it.
Wonderful.
Oh, I also wanted to add quickly, I'm trying to get playtests together for 2 games. Trying to get playtests together for most of my games, but the most important would be Sundo, which is about psychopops that realize slowly that they were human. And now, as they gain power using their old human memories, they are realizing that the world around them is full of lies. So that is one of the games I want to play test. A lot of people have been bugging me about Blades in the Dark. I'm very sorry this is taking a while, but if I can get time zones and schedules together, I would love to host Blades in the Dark, and I would love to start playtesting. When I have the material, my Dagger Isle supplement, which will be Southeast Asian facing and deeply Filipino inspired.
Pam, I'm in. Let me know.
Yes.
I will. Let me know.
Yes, I will.
That's wonderful. If folks want to find out more information on that, would they check out your Twitter?
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, excellent. Thank you, everybody, for joining for this wonderful game of For the Honor. Thank you for tuning in to this session of Game Roulette on Huetopia, and have a wonderful night.
Shout out from the disembodied voice while you guys are awkwardly waving because I have you here. I want to take some time to say thank you. I got to be a creepy lurker while y'all played this wonderful half shot, and I've never seen a table so intentional, so wonderful, so beautiful inside and out. Just thank you. Thank you guys for signing up and being here, and we look forward to having you back. We want to highlight your voices anywhere and everywhere that we can. So all of those links, go follow all these people. They're wonderful. They're amazing. We will have more of them here. Thank you all for being here, and have a good night.